somebody sent in, asked about the dagger boards, and if I would talk about the dagger boards a little bit. Orion has, they have to be the most easy dagger boards to use. And I mean, it's just amazing how simple and how functional those dagger boards are. So what do we get from the dagger boards? Well, we get two things out of the dagger boards. So first of all, we get that we can sail into more shallow water. We only draw 5.5 feet. And so what that means to us is that we can go, they say for every foot less that a boat draws, it can go to twice as many places. And so the last boat we were on drew 12 feet, and now this one draws 5.5. And that opens up areas like the Bahamas, for example. Like we can just blaze around the Bahamas quite easily. And there's lots of areas where people go that it's shallow, that we can go that we just couldn't go if we had a deep draft boat. So what does this cost us? What does it cost us to have dagger boards? Well, there's a little bit of internal space that they have to, when they're designing the boat, they have to give to the dagger board trunk. And in this case, they made the wash area and the wash locker, the locker for the washing machine. So you've got all the soaps and bleach and all that. Built around the dagger board on one side, and on the other side they used the cleanup closet, the mop closet. So they did make use of the space around the dagger board quite well. So I appreciate that when they did the design there. What does it give us in sailing performance? Well, that's pretty good, because I've done this quite a few times now, because I'm always watching on the dagger boards what they give us. So first of all, we always use the dagger boards in parallel. So we'll put the port and starboard boards down. So let's say both boards. Let's say we have 18 knots of apparent wind and 18 knots of true wind and 24 knots of apparent wind, and we're sailing at, let's say, 50 degrees apparent, and we're probably doing, let's say, 14 knots. So we're sailing along, and we're in relatively protected waters. If I have the boards up, and I'm watching a velocity made good, when I put the boards down, if I put the boards halfway down, I'll probably get 8 degrees on my velocity made good, which is pretty dang impressive. And that's and I don't really have to change much else. It isn't like I'm fussing with a lot of sail trim or anything. This is just I leave everything just the same, and I just put the boards down halfway, and then we let it sit for about 5 minutes and see how everything levels out. So when we put the boards down, if we have, I'm going to say, less than 12 knots of apparent wind, then I'll put the boards pretty much 3/4 of the way down, because when the boards are all the way down, we draw 15 feet. They're long boards. And so I don't want them down all the way, because that increases the fragility, I guess is what I would say, is that when you have that board way down, your chances, you could snap a board, see? So you got to be careful. You got to know, you got to be thinking about it. You wouldn't want to go aground, for example, and by dragging a dagger board into the dirt and spin the boat around. People do that. That happens. That's a thing that happens with dagger boards. And dagger boards are designed so that the dagger board trunk is stronger than the dagger board. So if you slipped along some way and caught the dagger board on something, either an obstruction or something in the water, then the dagger board should snap before it does damage to the dagger board trunk. And I think that I'm not sure that they would do that, because you never know in the exact situation, but I do know that people do snap these dagger boards, leaving them down too far, that type of thing. And so it is designed correctly. The board's designed to fail before the dagger board trunk is designed to fail. Now, that said, I've put 30,000 miles on Orion, and I've never had a dagger board problem. And she doesn't do any of those weird things that like if a dagger board was giving you trouble, like spiderweb cracks coming out around the dagger board trunk, for example. She's got none of those. And in fact, as long as we're talking about the structure, I'm just gonna throw in one more thing, is that after lots of times on cats, I'm going to say that this boat has not twisted in the least. She is so firm, and she has no creaking interior or any of those things that come with with like interior structure that's starting to soften up a little bit, and she doesn't have any of that at all. So dagger boards, that's my thought on dagger boards.